How's it going, my friends? And today we're gonna kind of step back into some audio. Today we're gonna be looking at a Pioneer CT-S405 stereo cassette deck. Now, you know I like Pioneer. Pioneer's usually pretty good quality. This is 1989. So it's before the throwaway period started. You know, this record, you can record on this one. This doesn't have the auto reverse. This is just a strictly play and record. But it's a little better unit for recording. You have a few more features for recording, like your recording level, and you can adjust your channel left and right. If it's, you know, if one coming in is a little off, you can adjust it up. You have your level here where you can make your adjustments to bring up your level for recording and for moving your channel left to right to, you know, to kind of balance it out so it'll record a lot better. It has a big whopping counter on it. Let's see, and then you have Dolby NR off and on, and Type B and Type C, which I'm not too familiar with that, so we'll just kind of, you know, leave that over there. You have your timer, recording, off, or just play. Let's see what else we got. It's a, like I said, this one, I picked it up at the auction. This one I do remember I paid $8 for this. Same thing, I don't pay much for these, for the simple fact if they're junk I'm only out $8. Let's see, on the back side of this one, we just have our output, play. That's where you send it to your receiver, and whatever you want to record to a tape, you have that, your input, which is the record. So if you're taping off of an album, you would run your phono in here and then out to your receiver. That way you could record off of your turntable. Or you can, you know, there's other ways of doing it. Your control, I don't know what your control, unless you have, I'm not sure what the control there is for. Audio video equipment. Let's see what else we got. Not much. They're made in Japan. Hello, Japanese. Oh. Not making fun of anybody, just having a little fun myself. So what we're going to do with this is the same as always. We're going to take the top cover off. We're going to service the deck, see if we need belts on it, and make sure everything's okay on the inside before we plug it in and turn it on. Now, there's 2 screws missing on this, which is not very encouraging. You know, there's one here and one here, if it ever had them. If it did have them, somebody has taken them out because there's something going on with this. Or it just never had the screws put in. Which doesn't really look like there were screws put in there. There should be clips that hold this down, and the one screw would hold it down. But I know that could be a big subject. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get you set up, and we're going to pull the cover off of this and take a little gander on the inside and see what it looks like. So you never know, this could be another short video where it's either junk or it works. I never really like plugging them in as soon as I get them. I like to take a look on the inside. I've had them before, had things before where I've just brought it home and plugged it in and something fried on the inside of it that was non-repairable, and if I would have taken a look beforehand, I could have been able to fix it. So now, every time I get something like this, I take the top off of it and take a look on the inside just to make sure that when we do plug it in, nothing's gonna fry. Alright, let's see. Little flat belt. This one looks like we can get the deck out of it too. Doesn't look like it'll be too complicated. Maybe. A couple of screws way down in there that you'd have a hell of a time getting to. There's our counter belt for the counter. We have a flat belt, and yep, we have a belt down in there that's off. I don't know if you can. Let me see if I can get you zoomed in. You can see this belt right here. Look at that. Yeah. So, you know what that means? We got to put belts. We got to put belts on the little booger. I'd like to get that deck completely out of there. I might be able to get down there. Man, kind of looks like you got to take the circuit board off just to get down in there. Looks like we have the 1, 2, 3, and 4 way down in there. And then it looks like the deck would come out of there. Wires, they're just plugs. I don't think they're all soldered down. This is the main one. Well, that's not good. Well, I guess if need be, we can at least get the deck up out of there and get it laying in here and take it apart from there to put belts on it. This is the biggest thing that you're going to run into on these old decks. Any of this old electronics that has little rubber belts on it is you're always going to have. Okay, where'd you go? That's not good. You can't get in there with that. I'm going to need a little different screw G driver. Let's see about getting in here with this one. See, what's that? That is part of the deck. Is that part of... Let's see if we can't loosen up the face plate. And get it out. If the face plate will come forward, we'll have a little better accessibility to those bottom screws. There's that screw. That screw that we lost. There it is. forgot to do that, sorry. Took all the screws out along the side, two sides and on the bottom, to see if we can't get this faceplate to move forward or come off to some degree to where we can get to the bottom of the deck and those screws. Now usually there's clips. I think that's also a screw for the deck. Usually these are just kind of clipped. One side. There we go. Oops. And it just clipped itself back in. Okay. I don't think those are clamp or just push in. I think those are actually soldered, so that's not going to come forward. Well, maybe it is just push in. Let's very carefully see if this will move forward any. There. Nope, I think those are actually okay. Let's see what I think that would be okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to study this a little bit and see what the hell we have to do. Okay, we're gonna try something. Looks like all these wires are soldered down onto the circuit board, so there's no real good way of taking wires off. And I'm just hoping that there's enough rope. See, those act like they're soldered to this main board. And so what we're going to do is we are going to see if we pull out all the screws on the main board, if everything will slide forward for us. That way, if it does, we can get at the deck and get it unscrewed. Because as it is now, I can't, there's no way I'm going to get down in there. One more here. Is that it? Oh, one in the middle. It's probably an easier way to do it, but this is the only way I see it's gonna work for us. It should be loose. Okay. Now, oh, you craphead. Those are just long terminals that push in. Now, why that just came off so easily for me this time, I haven't a clue. But we don't need to take the screws off of the board, unless when I unscrewed it, it gave it enough movement for it to pull off, and that's not going to be the funnest. All those little pins have to slide into these little holes here. Can you see where I'm pointing? Yeah, good enough. Okay, well, that's better. I think now we can do you think they wanted a technician to do this from Pioneer? How would you like to send that in to have belts put on it and that? I should probably charge you $300 to put belts on it. Oh, come on. We know we need that belt. Let's swing this around. So we can have a look-see. This. Now that belt's buried in there, of course, and now we have to figure out how to get into it so we can change it. I know we can fish it up top here, but it's not going to go underneath. And there. Yeah, at least there's a couple of them that come off. I know that big one didn't want to move at all, and I'm not a I don't see how that one. Okay, anyway, this gives us enough rope. I'm just going to leave well enough alone, and we're going to work on it this way. There's two little itty bitty knerts that have to come off to take this motor assembly off. Boy, I'll tell you what, you sure wouldn't want to lose those little nuts. You couldn't just go down to the hardware store and pick them up. Okay, I got those two. What else is holding you down? Got the two nuts there. And oh, you're kidding. There is I think a little itty bitty screw under the circuit board. Same thing, boy, you wouldn't want to lose those little guys. Just think, I mean, you got to go through all of this just to put belts on this. Oh, shit. There is some wee little itty bitty wires soldered here. I don't know if you, let me zoom you in a little bit. There's two little bitty wires soldered to these two, those two posts, those two there. And there is a little screw right here. Yeah, that's the one you got to take out. Oh, those stinking little wires have to stay put. Let's see if I can get this. There's one belt. What is that connected? That is a little bitty motor. I think you're actually supposed to unsolder those two little bitty wires to take that all apart. And this guy, does he come up out of there? And see what's left of the belt hanging there. Ah, it's one of those. It's a Gumby. I already did this once and had a hell of a mess with that VCR we did. Look at that. That's what's left of the belt. Let me, you come up, there we go. He goes down in and hooks up to this little gear there. That's the belt. Oh! Watch. Nice, huh? Okay, I'm going to have to get this all cleaned up, and the other part rides on this here, and the belt's all stuck to it and degraded and degradation. Oh, yeah. So I'll get back to you here in a minute. Let me get some of this crap cleaned up so we can start sizing up some belts. Flat belt's not too bad, but I'd hate to not put one on. Oh, that lines up that little lever right there. It goes all, it should go all the way down like so. It should go all the way down in like so, and that little bushing right there, that little brass bushing, lines up that. The problem is there's a little washer, plastic washer on the end that kind of keeps that in place. Goes down through. Oh, I don't. Is that the? Oh, shoot. That's part of the pinch roller. Okay. That's the post that the pinch roller pushes up against, and it runs it. Okay. Now I'm going to clean up. I'm going to clean up some of this crap, and so we can get some belts on it. There's nothing wrong with that belt, is there? Nah. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, just clean it up and it'll be fine. Okay, I got as much of that old belt cleaned off as I could. I have a couple of belts here that I think, instead of just buying, instead of looking up for this I bought, I bought a bunch of belts in packages that'll, man, I don't want to get grease on that belt. Does that gear? I think we can put that on after we get this down on there where it belongs. But I had to take that up out of there to clean it. Got to get that bushing down in that hole. It lines up just perfect. I can't move this around too much because of those two little bitty wires. Okay, I'm going to have to work on this because I'm going to be all over the place trying to get down in there, and you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, folks, I got the belts on it. I didn't do any videos on me putting the belts on this, because I had to be really careful because of those two little wires. But in hindsight, if I ever run into one of these again, see, there's two little itty bitty wires down in there. They come off of this PCB, and I had to be really careful that I didn't pull them off. But like I said, in hindsight, next time if I ever do one of these again, I will unsolder those two off of there, and then this whole thing will come up off of here and you can work on it. I was all over the place trying to get these belts on, so you wouldn't have been able to see anything anyway. Once you have this off and you pull this up out, that little brass bushing shouldn't come up out of there unless it's really gummy, which it was. That little brass bushing is what holds that pin. It goes all the way down through, and it sits right there. This little pin right here, that's the one. That's what actually this motor turns it, and there's that little gear down below that turns this belt here that runs our mechanism. It was really fun trying to get everything all lined up and in place and get the belts on it and in the right place, so when you do get it put together you can slip them on. You can't put them on and then try and put everything together. It's just too much tension on it. So I had to, like I said, I was all over the place and you wouldn't have been able to see anything anyway. But if somebody's trying to do this at home, you know, it's very tedious, and you have to really be careful when you're working on this. And like I said, I had to take my time. I had to quit for a while, go away from it, do something else for a little bit, and then come back and work on it some more, because it was just gonna drive me nuts, and I was getting, you know, starting to get a little too rough with it. And so I was just on and off, back and forth here, trying to get those belts on it, and I got the belts on it and in place where they belong. And now we can start reassembling this and see if I screwed it up or if we got it fixed. Alright, let's get this deck in. First thing we need to do is get our counter belt, not a counter, counter belt on. And hopefully when we put this, let's see that go up there. Let me see if I can, nope, that'll be in. Wish I could get some tension on this belt. This is going to be real fun too. Just to make sure that belt stays on where it's supposed to while you put your drive in. Oh, I need one of these where I can actually start with my fingers. Yeah, that's how it stays put while we get the other screws in. Let me see if I can get you spun around here a little bit so you can see what the hell's going on. It's really hard to do a lot of this stuff and get good angles and that on the camera. If I was to try and get good angles on every shot, I would need more cameras and set up all over the place, or I just have to, every time I go to do something, stop doing what I'm doing and change the camera position. So I'm trying to give you the best shots I can of what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can get this slit on here. There. And like I said, we got to make sure that all of our little pins line up, so when we pull it together, it goes in the correct holes. Like so. Do we have to go up or down, or move to the side, or what? Now see, I screwed down, put the circuit board back down because I thought we weren't going to need it loose. But it looks like we're going to have the circuit board loose and line all of that up and then push it all together. I think there's just enough give in that circuit board to let all those pins line up. They all look pretty good. We shouldn't have to force it. Now we can put the screws in our PCB, or circuit board, whatever you want to call it. The control board. The brains of the outfit. We're getting there. Like I said, this is the worst one I've ever done. As far as putting on a couple stinking little belts where you have to tear half of the machine down. Oh, come on. Just to get to the belts. Now let's see if we got it all the way pushed together. Power. And I'll get a couple screws in the face so it doesn't move around on us. See, I think there's one on the bottom we should put in too. Yep, right here for the deck. Should be one put in right there. That helps hold the deck in place. Should be a heavy one. Nope. That one there. And we better put one for the RCA jacks, the output on the back. So when we're hooking it up, we don't bust it off of the board. And power cord. We got 2 wires to hook back up. These are self-explanatory where they go. There's a 3-pin. And a 2-pin. Like so. Alright, I'll get her hooked up and then we're going to finally get to test this critter out and see if it works. Alright, got it all hooked up and got the receiver turned on. Well, good sign, we got some power to it. Not good. Sounds like we got something jamming up. No, it won't do anything. Alright, let me see what the hell's going on. Okay, we're having a problem with the deck. You've seen when you hit start, or hit play, all it does is click a few times. There's 2 little micro switches up top here that tell the deck that there's a tape in it. If you hold those 2 up, you can press those. It helps if you turn the power on. That always helps too. But if you depress these 2 little switches up in here, you can get it to think that there's a tape in it. Well, come on. Oh, doy. Always helps if you plug stuff in. Okay, now it's on. Now if you depress those 2 switches, You can hear it just clicks. What it's trying to do is raise the heads to the deck, or to the tape, and it's not moving at all, it's just clicking. So you know what that means. We got to tear the deck back out of it and tear the deck down and see what the hell is going on with it. But I won't bore you with that again. I'm going to go ahead and I'll pull the deck out of it, and when I get it out, then we'll look at it and see if we can't figure out why. It's probably something I did putting it back together, or this could have been what it was doing all along, and that's why the belt was all, well, it wasn't really chewed up, it just degraded, or that may have been why it was packed away. So let me get the deck out of it, and then we'll go over it and see if we can't figure out what's going on. Okay, this time I unsoldered those two hairs. They run a little solenoid here. That's what actuates everything. That was working, so we don't have to worry about that. We got to get the big flywheel out of there. There's a little plastic, like, retainer clip that holds that in place, and if you leave that on and try and pull that out, this is what I found the last time, you pull the bushing up out of there, and we want to leave the bushing. And where's, oh, there they are, and there's a little washer right there that we need to keep track of. Come on. Alright, now we can see what the hell's going on, and I can clean that pulley a little bit more. Okay, so now what we have to figure out is what raises the head, what brings the head up. And for some reason that doesn't look right here. And it looks like that should be in that gap there. No, it can't, because it can't go down far enough. But it doesn't look right. This is what should actuate, and then that's what should raise our head assembly. Yeah, but for some reason it's bound up. Okay, so you need a laxative? Is that why you're all bound up? Still think it has something to do with this lever here. You know, it looks like it should be doing something, and it like it's supposed to move back and forth, or I don't know. I don't know if I can get that bushing out of there now. Maybe if we get that, there we go. Get that out of there. That'll free this up. So what? Something like that. Okay. There. Look at that now. Much better. I think we got her. It was all in this little lever. I think what happened when I pulled this out the first time, everything was all stuck together, and I pulled that bushing up out of there, and this didn't get set where it belongs. So now with it where it belongs, now the deck can move up and down very freely. So it looks like we may have found our issue. So now I am going to clean up these. And we still got some black gunk on them from that belt that deteriorated. And with this out, now I can clean that one a lot better too, so our belt doesn't, you know, that stuff's so sticky and gummy. I think our belt may have been kind of hanging up in it too. So I just couldn't get it clean enough with those two hairs soldered on, and you know, and that's the way to do this, is to unsolder those, and then it's much easier to pull apart. So I'm going to get this cleaned up some more, and then we'll come back and get this reassembled. Okay, I think now, since I got that board taken off, I can actually show you how to put the belts on this thing. And I put a little bit of grease in, you know, the normal strategic areas. And if you hear voices in the background, that's a live stream going. Okay, here's one. Now the next one's going to be a little trickier. Let's see, how are we doing this? Yeah, we're going to put that guy right down in like so. So we need our belt on the bottom. Everything moved back a little bit. Let's see, I think let me Move you up a little bit. There we go. There's a little bitty washer. On that post. Now let me see if I put it on there first. Nope, that's not going to work. I think everything just fell off. Nope, that didn't. There we go. Goes up in there. Now, like I said, isn't this one fun? I know you can't see. Oh, come on. There we go. That wrapped around there. And of course the belt falls off. We want it. I guess not. That was it. Yeah, that's in the right place. Well, come on. Alright, I'm going to have to work on this. I guess I'm still not going to be able to show you. Okay, got that belt on. It was a bit of a challenge as well as normal. And I had to stop and take a break, or I was going to throw it across the room. And yes, I do lose my patience too. Now we'll put this little, get this little board put on, this little switchboard. This is the one that has all the switches on it that tells the tape deck that there's a tape in it. Get a tiny itty bitty screw. Like I said, you don't want to lose any of these. These little guys, you can't just go to the hardware store and buy them. I mean, what do you even ask for? You know, what size are they? Ones? Aught? Or you go to the hardware store and tell them, hey, I need 2 little screws for my tape deck. Alright, now we need our little, there's our little wires for our solenoid. We have to get them soldered back on. I doubt if you can see what I'm doing. But trust me, I am going to solder two little itty bitty hair of wires on this switchboard. This is the solenoid. You don't want to ruin these wires. This little solenoid is what trips. Okay, got those two little wires soldered on. My battery died, so I don't know exactly when I stopped talking. But got those two little wires soldered back in, and now we can go ahead and put this all back together again, just like Humpty Dumpty. Okay, ready to try again. Turn it on. Yep, got some lights on it, at least we know it's powering up. Let's see, what are we going to put in it? Let's get some old Billy in there, Billy Idol. Now, you ready? Drum roll. And there she goes. Alright folks, that does it. We got her all fixed up and ready to go. Little dust on it. I played 3 tapes, both sides, and no hitch in its giddy up. So by far this is the worst one I've had to do as far as putting belts on and getting ready. This one tried my patience at a few times, but hey, just take your time and it all comes together. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you, and I definitely hope to see you on the next one. Until then, see ya.